and welcome to another Teacher's Corner playthrough. We're picking up right where we left off. So we've just finished the In the Shadow of Cestus. And first things first, my purchase skills is glowing. I do have the ability to purchase another or to spend another space point. So I'm going to put that in improved energy weapon training. So this will give me a bit more on my energy weapons. So they'll fire a little harder, which is of course early on what I want to get. I've also earned another bridge officer. This is an engineer. So I'm actually going to go back to Earth Space Dock and I'm going to buy emergency power to weapons 1, 23rd century, because I'm going to want emergency power to weapons on him right away. That'll give me another buff. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. It doesn't give me the option to beam back or to go back. So I will have to go the slow way. Alright. So the reason I want emergency power to weapons 1, it's going to help me to keep my weapons power up, number 1. Number 2, it is going to give a flat damage bonus to to my energy weapons for the duration of the skill. So that means for 30 seconds out of every 45 seconds, it will give me a buff to my energy weapons. So it's going to help my weapons to hit harder, regardless of weapon power, which is always a good thing. And don't you just love the slow sector space speed? At least we are moving at a whopping warp 5.56. Gotta love it. Alright, and while we're doing this, I'm going to go ahead and adjust my keybind. Remember, my keybind is stuck on tray 10. So I'm going to, if you remember our order from the video where I talked about keybinds, this is going to become emergency power to weapons 1. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in front of my fire at will, because we want to put our energy weapon power first and our beam attack upgrade second. So I put that there. That's going to change when I change the skill. So I'm putting that there and we'll check back on it later. Alright. And I'll lock that for now. There. Couple things I've noticed since the Agents of Yesterday came out. Things to remind you of: some people have tried to join fleets before they finish the 6-episode tutorial, before they get dumped into 2409 and join the main part of the game, and they've had trouble because it says it does not match faction or allegiance. So remember, you have to finish this initial 6-episode tutorial before you can join a Federation fleet. Once you make it to the 2409 and join the rest of the game, you should then be able to join a fleet after you have, of course, reached level 10. Alright, thank you for telling me how to dock. Dock at ESD. Okay. So that's one thing that a lot of people have asked me about, is why can't I join? The reason is because technically you're not a Fed until you get to 2409. Alright, so I'm going to go and get my skill emergency power to weapons 1. make sure I buy the 23rd century version. There, a whopping 250 energy credits. Alright, and because I already have the gear that I want, I'm going to go ahead and actually I'm not going to sell this to the replicator. I'm going to go ahead and empty out my inventory. I'm going to take it to the... First, let me train my guys so I don't forget. Skills and 23rd century there. I want that to be my default. Go to stations and it shows that as his current skill. We'll double check on that when we get into space. But I do want, there's the door, to go back to the bar because bartenders, there he is, bartenders tend to give a higher payout of things when you go to sell them. They tend to give out half price. So you'll notice when I hover over 665 energy credits is the value. Bartender gives 332, so approximately half price. Because I don't need any of these things, I'm going to go ahead and sell them. Oops, did I? I did. I just sold. Alright, if you accidentally sell something you don't want to sell, buy. There we go. Remember to make sure the item you want to sell is highlighted gold. And I'm going to go ahead and sell these items to clear up space in my inventory. Alright, there we go. Alright, and next I'm going to make sure that my new bridge officer, who is an engineer, is equipped with his appropriate shield and weapon. Because he's an engineer and I'm going to keep him on my ground tune as my ground tune, I'm going to take a look at his skill. Yes, I'm going to want to fix that very quickly. I don't mind the medical generator fabrication at the end here, but I'm definitely going to put chronoton mines, or well, currently I'm probably going to put a turret there because he can, remember, he can only use his engineering skill or ensign skill, sorry, until I get up to lieutenant and can promote him. So I'm going to go ahead and get something that will help us do a lot of damage, and that's going to be right now a turret. So now that I've outfitted him, okay. Alright, so engineering. And here we go. Okay, photon mortar. Alright, well, since mortar is the only one that I can craft that I find valuable, I'm going to go ahead and craft or do the mortar. And there you go, he's going to have photon mortar as his ground ensign skill. which, interesting, it's reading as photon grenade launcher instead of mortar, but I am aware this is the same thing, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on his default ground. Okay. And under stations, he's going to be my default, one of my default ground tunes. Alright. Because I like to have all engineering on my ground tune. Okay. And now we are ready to begin the next episode. So we've completed In the Shadow of Cestus, and now we are going to start Painful Omens. It says Deep Space Station K-13 hasn't been heard from for some time. Starfleet Command wants you to find out what's going on out there. Alright.
Starfleet hasn't heard from Deep Space Station K-13 in a while. It's in a tactically sensitive part of the quadrant, and the brass is getting concerned. Get out there, find out what you can, and render assistance if needed. And hey, be careful, okay? This could go sideways fast.
Head to Deep Space K-13 and investigate why the station has stopped communicating. This will give us another bridge officer. This will be a science bridge officer in this case. And along with some gear we could use if we need it. Alright. And so I'm going to accept. And this gives me the option of transwarping straight there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And our animation, of course. Love the beauty pass. I'm of course using the Constitution class from the Temporal Agent pack. Loving it. Alright. And there is Deep Space K-13. Let's find out what's going on. Begin Painful Omens. We've arrived near Deep Space K-13, Captain. This is odd. I'm not picking up any comm traffic. No signals, nothing at all from K-13 or the other ships in the system. Scan for signs of enemy ships or activity. Sensors aren't detecting enemy vessels or warp signatures. No signs of combat either. This is peculiar. I'm not sure what to make of it. Yellow alert. Prepare for approach. Alright, so we're going to approach. Remember to follow your green arrow waypoint. Go to the surface. And as you can see, my emergency power to weapons is working. You can see it switched. And there we go. All ships are disabled. Captain, those were the Starfleet ships assigned to patrol this sector. I don't think that was a war game or training sim. Their weapons were at full power. See if you can raise any of the ships. Use all channels. Try whatever it takes to get through. Alright, we are opening hailing frequency.
They're taking control. Don't come near us. They'll take you too. This station came from the station.
Who's taking control? What's happening over there? Okay, channel is closed. Message from Starfleet Command, Captain. We're to investigate the situation immediately. Captain Doherty mentioned the station. Bring us close enough to scan K-13. Alright, so now we have to go towards the station. Scan K-13. No signs of combat on board the station, Captain. No hostile life form readings either. Everything's quiet. Sensors are picking up a number of life signs over there, but I'm not reading any unusual activity. All of the station systems seem to be functioning normally. Think we should beam over and have a look around? Have a landing party meet me in the transporter room. Alright, so it's gonna have our people meet us and accept. And because I always forget to use it, let's put this on my trade 10, and that should be now keep out. Alright. I don't like this. No one's at their duty stations. Not even the transporter operator. Station's not on alert. What's happening? Tricorders picking up a life sign nearby. Looks like they're in sickbay, just across the hall. Set phasers to stun. Let's get to the bottom of this. Of course, look at that big gun. Say hello to my little friend. And we have Ensign Hunter with us again, who is eerily unarmed. Those blast points on the wall are from phaser fire. There was a fight here, but with whom? No sign of Klingon or Romulan weapon fire, just Federation. I've got a bad feeling about this. Excuse me. Alright, let's see what's happening. And we go over here. Talk to medical officer
Stop where
Thruin.
you are and turn about slowly. I need to determine if you are infected.
Infected with what exactly?
Neuroparasites. A life form last encountered by the crew of the Enterprise at Deneva Colony. Those possessed by the creatures tend to engage in hostilities with the uninfected. The better to render them fit for infestation.
Well, as you can see, we're friendly. Ensign?
Temet, and while you have not engaged in hostilities thus far, I have seen infected employ false passivity in order to lure unwary prey. A tricorder scan of your adrenaline levels should verify your status.
A logical precaution, Ensign. Scan away.
Scans show a slightly elevated level of adrenaline, though nowhere near that of an infected life form. Thank you for your patience. One can never be too cautious where these parasites are concerned.
Tell me more about them. I want to know what we're dealing with.
They are a life form that propagates by infiltrating the nervous system of a host creature. Through this neural link, they can compel their host to obey their bidding. They can also inflict extreme pain upon the host at will, and do so to discourage attempts at resistance. While effective, this punishment can lead to permanent neurological damage or death. At this time, most of the station personnel have become infected. While there is a possibility of uninfected survivors, I must warn that it is remote.
I see. Any recommendations, Ensign?
According to Starfleet data files, the parasites can be safely destroyed by exposure to high-intensity ultraviolet light. My attempts at reconfiguring the station's lighting thus far have been unsuccessful. I am a physician, not a habitat engineer.
I'm a doctor, not a fill in the blank. I see.
As a precaution, I have developed a serum that can render a person toxic to the creatures. However, medical supplies here are limited. I have enough serum to inoculate your landing party and one other person.
I'll take any edge I can get. In the meantime, let's see if we can find anyone else via the comm system. Now I'm using the comm system. Static. This is Lieutenant Sirhan of the USS Teacher's Corner. Is anyone on the station able to respond?
Now there's a voice I wasn't expecting. I take it you heard my distress call then. Well, in case you haven't noticed, the station's been overrun by neural parasites. The wee devils are back with a vengeance.
So I see. We're safe up in sickbay. Can you join us here?
I'm afraid not. I'm in the auxiliary control room down on the engineering deck. The place is filthy with parasites, so you'll understand if I don't go out for a wee jaunt.
Understood, Scotty. We'll make our way to you. Sirhan out.
I have secured a small amount of security gear. It may give you another edge against the parasites.
Collect the security gear from the nearby container. Excellent, Ensign. You're with us. Let's gear up and head to engineering. Alright, so here's the security gear. I'd be willing to bet that it's going to be... Nope. Okay, so it's some energy dead, some armor, and phasers, which would be good to outfit your bridge officers, since you should have some Mark II gear by now from drops or mission completions. Alright, so we're going to head out. And we're heading to Scotty's location. And of course, we're lousy with infected people. Here we go. Alright. So she says scan one of the infected. Let's see.
We should consider taking some scans from the infected. While I have committed Dr. McCoy's data on the parasites to memory, we may be able to learn something useful from a more in-depth medical analysis.
Good thinking, and alright, so there's an infected, so I'm gonna scan.
The creatures continue to be resistant to tricorder scans, sir. It may be fascinating. I'm detecting an unusually high level of tachyons nearby. Based on these readings, it is possible that a temporal event has occurred on the station within the last 4.2 hours.
Fascinating indeed. Let's keep going. So we're following our green arrow waypoint. Help if I push the right button. As you can see, I'm gaining stacks of my offensive ability. Alright. That is the stack of vicious there. Okay, and here we are, turbulent. We're taking it to engineering.
The auxiliary control station is down the hall to our right. I'm reading a single human life form within the room. The biosigns match those of Commander Scott in the Starfleet Medical Database.
Meet Scotty in auxiliary control. Let's not keep him waiting.
Hi there. It's good to see a friendly face. There you are. I was beginning to get a bit concerned. Thought you might have been taken by those little beasties. I'll just lock the door so none of them can get in while we discuss our next course of action. Now that you're here, we've some work to do. The way I see it, we need to get to main engineering and turn on the station's ultraviolet lighting. That'll sort the nasty buggers out properly.
Alright, I gotta say, it's not perfect, but Chris Doohan's Scotty is pretty good.
While I cannot attest to the ability of UV light to sort Deniven parasites, it will initiate a complete molecular breakdown within all parasites exposed to it.
Ensign?
Aye, she's a Vulcan, all right. I was trying to override the lighting controls from here. It looks like someone sabotaged several duotronic relays. We have to repair them if we're going to have any chance of saving the station. Before we go, grab yourself a kit from the crate there. It might come in handy. We better get a move on. The parasites aren't ones to loiter about.
Glad you're with us, Scotty. Lead the way. Alright, so, grab the kit.
Aye, this is one of the broken relays, right here.
Alright, so I get a tactical kit, standard issue. I had not made a kit, so now I'm going to put this on.
Alright, there are several ways through the engineering section here. Keep in mind that the parasites tend to stay in dark corners. If you want to avoid them, do your best to stay in the lit areas.
Thank you for the reminder, Mr. Scott. Alright. So I do have a standard issue kit, and now I have a photon assault grenade. So I'm going to put that on my keybind. And of course, buff up first. Okay. Alright. There we go. Alright, and now we need to head to repair those duotronic relays and follow. There we go.
Remember, the parasites like the dark. We devils that they are.
And follow our waypoints. Here's a circle.
I'll have this fixed up straight away.
We're probably going to meet some parasites, so we need to defend.
No
Okay.
trouble at all. This one just needs no future. There we are. Good as new.
We must defend Scotty. And our next one. This way. Alright, let's take a look at our big map here. Okay.
Now this may be a bit tricky.
And get him, there we go. And we want to keep all the parasites away from Scotty, of course. And follow. And we're going into the main engineering room. Oh, I've been attacked by a parasite. Got rid of it. And I'm activating the UV lighting. And this will get all the new
It
ones.
looks like someone has overridden the command codes. You best get to the command center and see what you can do from there. I'll stay here, barricade the door, and keep trying to get those UV lights going.
And I see it glowing over here, so I'm going to take the Jeffries tube. Not sure why those are dark. Okay, here we go.
Look, who are those soldiers? They're definitely not Starfleet.
And we'll have to investigate those soldiers later. But we're going to kill the base commander. There we go. And we're activating. Oh, I see some Nicole. There's Nicole in the background. Alright, so the UV lighting is killing off the parasites exposed. There we go. Kill them off.
The parasites, they're dying. All of them.
Salvage what you can and send a squad to kill the Federation vermin.
Oh, Federation vermin, are we? Alright. Take that. Take that, alien intruder. You'll not call us vermin? Alright. Got rid of all the Nicole.
We need to talk.
Ensign Hunter.
Actually, the name's Daniels. This may be a little difficult to absorb, but recent events may make it more plausible. I'm actually from the future. I can't tell you how far, just that it's a future worth protecting. That's why I'm here now. The aliens we're fighting are called the Nakul, and they're waging a temporal Cold War with us. They're trying to change the timeline here in order to disrupt the future. Understand that I follow a temporal version of the Prime Directive. There's only so much I can reveal to you. Trust that we're doing the right thing here. Time's a factor. We need to stop the Nakul from obtaining the neural parasites. The Nakul ship that brought these invaders is now fighting the USS Ptolemy. Someone must have sent a distress call. Unfortunately, Ptolemy is no match for the Nakul. Neither is your ship, at least not alone. We should eliminate the parasites on the ships you fought earlier. Those crews will help you once their minds are their own again. It's risky, but it's our best shot here.
We can return to the ship on your order. So we're beaming to the ship. Love how I'm just waving around that big minigun like it's nothing. I always love those things. The Ptolemy is holding off the Nicole while we rescue the other ships, but they won't last long. K-13 is hailing us, Captain.
I'm transferring command codes to you now. Use them to remotely access the computer on those disabled ships and emit an ultraviolet flash inside.
Fly close to the infected ships and remotely flash UV light in their interior. Thanks, Scotty.
Captain Seralto, the Ptolemy. We have engaged the enemy ship, but we are outmatched. Please restore those ships and join the fight quickly.
We're flashing.
That did it, Captain. Looks like everyone's coming around. The parasites are gone.
Captain Doherty of the USS Myrmidon. What happened? What's going on?
Your crew was taken over by neuroparasites. We've defeated them. Now we need your help fighting this alien ship.
Parasites? What? Okay, sorry. We're right behind you, Captain. Lead the way.
Acknowledge.
Something's wrong. We're not doing any damage.
The Ptolemy has been destroyed. They have some kind of temporal shielding.
Temporal shielding? Never heard of it. But maybe a modulated ion burst could disrupt it.
Remember, because I have anchored, I don't want to move unless I have to. Activating my weapon strain mitigation. Alright. Thank you, Scotty. Ooh, pretty. Answer hey.
Fine work, Captain. You sent those devils back to wherever they came from. Aye, we do have a wee problem, however. The burst I sent, when combined with the power source, created a feedback pulse. The feedback is creating some kind of spatial anomaly, which is beginning to pull the station in. We need to evacuate, immediately.
Evacuate K-13. Yay, we don't have to move.
Scott here. The portal's collapsing. We're in for a right bumpy ride. Everyone's aboard. Get us clear before that portal blows. There she goes. I don't think anyone's ever seen a station do that.
Captain, before K-13 was pulled into the vortex, I picked up a few distress signals from inside the station. Damn, we missed some people. They're gone.
Perhaps not. After all, it was a temporal vortex. They may well survive. In another time.
Let's hope so, Scotty. Let's hope so.
Well then, it's been quite a day, hasn't it? Neural parasites, time-traveling raiders. Why, things will seem almost normal once I'm back on the Enterprise. Speaking of, I'm sure one of the ships here can give me a lift back to her now that they're parasite-free. If Starfleet Command gives you any grief on this, remind them that lives are more valuable than equipment. And you saved a lot of lives today.
Thanks, Scotty. Give my regards to Captain Kirk and the crew.
I apologize for springing all of this on you at the last minute, and I'll explain more as soon as I can. For now, I can tell you that history is unfolding as it should, and that was not the end of K-13. You're building a fine tradition of making the right decisions in crisis situations. In the meantime, don't talk to anyone about the Nakul or their time travel. We can't risk any further corruption of the timeline.
Understood. We'll talk soon, Daniels. And I'm going to need more answers. System's clear, Captain. Looks like everything's back to normal. We can leave the system on your order. Depart system, and that is, of course, the end of Painful Omen. Go through the loading screen. There we go. And we talk to Admiral Garrett.
Let me get this straight. K-13, an entire space station, just disappeared into some type of spatial anomaly? And I thought some of Kirk's after-action reports were a little out there. Starfleet Command won't be pleased with the loss of K-13, or the people that were still on board, but they'll be happy to hear about the lives you did save. Good work out there. Keep it up.
Alright, and so I get another bridge officer and some equipment. And here we go.
Stay safe out there.
Alright, so join me next time for the Next episode, Return to Babel. See you then.